Okay, so on to the next track in Sammy's Unmasked Inner Sound series, man, and we've gotten off to a great start. Metallica, and then we did John Mellencamp. That was absolutely fantastic. We're now on to the third one. For those of you who are only joining now, I suggest you go back. Trust me, it's going to be a great variety of music, great names coming up. But this over here is one of my crushes, man. It's one of my crushes, Lindsey Stirling. I really like Lindsey Stirling, just counting how many reallys, right? But this one over here is featuring Switchfoot, don't know Switchfoot at all, and it's called Voices. So, yeah, this is the first time I'm listening to this, but Lindsey Stirling, I'm here for Lindsey Stirling. I'm always here for Lindsey Stirling. So let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we got over here. Let's go. Wait a second. All the text in this video was pulled from actual comments written to Lindsey Stirling and Switchfoot. Are we talking about haters over here? Let's go.
My words come out like an avalanche in silence, and you've got oceans trapped in your
I don't understand. Sorry, I'm gonna try and not pause a lot, but like obviously these are all hater comments, but I understand all the time these people. It's like such a cop out of a comment. It's like, oh, this artist, they sold out. Oh, they sold. What does that mean? They sold out to who? Did they sell out to? What if they switch their style, switch up their like? That's what artists do. They try to do something new. They try to like reinvent themselves every now and again. And when they do, it's like, oh, they're sold out. Sold out to who? What, the music industry? Yes, I mean that's usually what they actually refer to. It's like, oh, they're sold out to the music industry, essentially. So I'm like, no, but these are still very good artists. At the end of the day, you can see the rubbish ones versus the. If we're gonna talk about like artists that sell out to the music industry and the general hedonism of what is currently Western society, you could look at people like Cardi B and all those kind of fucking Sam Smith, those kind of guys. Yeah, they sold out. You know what I mean? But when there's like different artists just try to switch up their style a little bit, all of a sudden like they're sold out. I don't understand some of the hate sometimes. But anyway, let's carry on.
You've got oceans trapped in your eyelids. They tell me that no man is an island, but it feels like it's a storm that I've been fighting.
Hey.
I used to listen to the radio, but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. We used to live in
I like the fact that they projected the actual labels on their faces, all the negative things that they've called them. Is like, I listen to the radio, but I can't even listen to the radio because I've got a million voices in my head, right? Speaking of a million voices, doesn't that play back into that DJ song? It's got nothing to do with it, but that song was like absolutely murdered on the radio. Million Voices by, who's that DJ? It was a crazy good song. Anyway, doesn't matter. But great concept over there, and it's actually projected on their head, so it does actually affect them. You're right, it does affect. I mean, that's why I don't read the comments. The internet's not a real place, right? Because like if you take that into account all of the time, where you read in the comments and you let that affect you, it's something you learn when you're actually online. Like it makes no. For me, in the beginning, it used to get me all irate, and then afterwards I'm like, you can't persuade anybody. Like you can't persuade anybody today. It's not even worth having debates and arguments. You'll see threads online where people are debating each other and having arguments with each other. It's like, why? We're living in a world where it's completely tribal. Like everyone sticks to their camp vehemently, even if their camp is completely wrong. They don't look at their camp. They don't introspect at all, right? They don't look on their side and say, actually, what we're doing is fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe I should take in information. No, it's not. Everything's just ignored, and it's like, my camp is my camp, regardless of what it is. So who you trying to persuade? Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. You're not going to convince anybody of anything today.
I used to listen to the radio, but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. We used to live in stereo, but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. How come the friends and the foes invisible? I'm the ones that made my soul most miserable. Heads reeling from the feeling in my mind, but I feel it in in the physical. Rise the sunlight.
You do realize that all of this is just projections of the people that are actually saying this kind of thing. It's all projection, right? The things they're saying to you is the things they feel about themselves. Right? It all comes from insecurity. It all comes from a negative space. It's just these people that literally cannot control their emotions, people that literally are empty. They're kind of vacuous inside. And then they give you these vapid comments just so that they think they're trying to hurt you. But what actually happens is these words are actually living with inside them, and they cannot take it. They cannot take it. It eats them alive every single day, and they have to project it out, right? Through great delusion and great sort of just not, they don't actually see it. They're very, very oblivious to their own sort of plight, right? And what they need to do to actually change it, to change their lives, right? And because they're not willing to do it, and they see other people being successful and other people doing things that are furthering their careers and stuff like that, they project their insecurities onto those people. It doesn't really matter. Just stay in your lane and let them cry it out. Who
Feel
cares?
it in my mind, but I feel it in the physical. Rise the sunlight, hide it. Ain't letting any light in.
What? She makes a joke of the violin. I'm taking that personally now. Hey. You do not talk about my Lindsey Stirling like that. Alright? Don't talk about my Lindsey Stirling like that. Okay, let me take it back and let's actually try and play this through.
How come the friends and the foes invisible? I'm the ones that make my soul most miserable. Heads reeling from the feeling in my mind, but I feel it in the physical. Rise the sunlight, hide it. Ain't letting any light in. It's a storm that I've been fighting. And I used to listen to the radio,
Hey.
but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. And we used to live in stereo, but I've got an army of voices in my head.
It's crazy to think that these were actual comments, like stop prancing around. I'm assuming that they're referring to Lindsey Stirling over there with her dancing. Her dancing is absolutely so seductively beautiful. I don't know, some people just don't appreciate beauty and art, but okay, let's go.
But I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. And they sing it. I got voices. I got voices. Yeah, I got voices. Every moment crowded with choices.
She looks like a meth addict. There are some people that are really bitter in this world, seriously.
Every moment crowded with choices. Speak to me and drown out the voices.
I always find like, oh, she claims to be anorexic, but she's too fat for that. It's like crazy how people tend to, it happens with me as well, where people tend to know my psychological state and they tend to project that on me. So it's like, well, I can see, I've been noticing that you've been losing it for the past thing. I really hope that you find yourself. I'm like, you don't fucking know me for a bar of soap. You're looking at me through a fucking camera and all of a sudden you're literally dissecting me and my entire life and what my psychological state is. I mean, these are ludicrously stupid people, but like beyond stupid people. Again, these are people that literally are dealing, that are absolutely struggling so hard with their own psychological state that they'll sit there and actually try and they sort of dissect you through the screen. It's like, yeah, I can see he's going through stuff, and I just hope that you find yourself. I found myself. Don't worry, I'm good. Don't stress, bro. I'm doing just fine. My life's fantastic. You know what I mean? My life's fantastic. So don't you worry about me. You worry about yourself. The fact that you have to comment that shit in a comment, that you take the time to actually say that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like I put my face in my videos. I literally, what I say, I mean, and I back it by my fucking appearance on video. You hide behind a keyboard. I'm good. Trust me.
Every moment crowded with choices. Speak to me and drown out the voices. I used to listen to the radio, but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head. And we used to live in stereo, but I've got an army of voices in my head. Voices in my head.
Okay, they've switched it up. I like the fact that they've switched it up. They've got to give credence to the good comments because the majority of them are good. I mean, on my channel, 99% of the comments are all great comments. You know what I mean? So the thing is that sometimes the negative comments can like sort of overshadow the majority of the positive comments, and that should be something that you should always focus on. Just focus on the positive comments because there are many. You're going to get those people that are cowards, like I told you. They're cowards, right? Hide behind their keyboards, think they're powerful. They're not. They're useless. No one cares. No one cares. Fire. Anything with Lindsey Stirling, man. Anything with Lindsey Stirling for me is fantastic. I didn't mind that Switchfoot side over there. I liked the actual concept of the song. It was great. And yeah, I think it's just some people also, it's a song that a lot of people, specifically people that are online, right, doing this content creation stuff, should actually sort of get to learn. Is that internet's not a real place, man. It's not a real place. There are real people on the other side of that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, if you want it all to stop, just don't read the fucking comments. I'm saying if you're like filtered with comments and people are trying to hate on you, it's not a real place, man. You can literally just put this down and all of a sudden the world is real again. Anyway, I love you all. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!